Have you ever dreamed about wandering through a place where the past and present collide? Where ancient temples stand beside bustling streets, and every turn feels like stepping into another world? That's Kyoto, a city that feels like it was plucked right from a storybook. But as I found out, not everything in Kyoto is as serene as it seems. Stick around and you'll see why a simple snack break turned into a hilarious lesson in Japanese manners. Hey, it's Alex, and today we're exploring Kyoto, Japan's cultural heart. From serene temples and bustling markets to quirky local customs, we're diving into the best and most surprising things this city has to offer. Let's start with the iconic Fushimi Inari Taisha, famous for its thousands of vermilion torii gates that wind up the mountainside like a path to another world. As I hike through the tunnels of red, the atmosphere feels almost mystical. The gates seem endless, creating a hypnotic pattern that draws you deeper into the forest. But after what feels like miles of gates, I'm out of breath, regretting that extra helping of sushi last night and facing a daunting realization this peaceful stroll is turning into an unexpected workout. Next, I make my way to Kinkaku-ji, the golden pavilion, glistening in the sunlight like something out of a dream. The pavilion sits perfectly reflected in the surrounding pond, its gold leaf shimmering in the light. It's a breathtaking sight, but the hordes of tourists quickly snap me back to reality. Everyone, including me, is jostling for that perfect Instagram shot, and the once tranquil moment feels more like a battle for elbow room. I'm struck by the fact that centuries ago this was a retreat for a shogun seeking solitude. Now it's a place where solitude is in short supply, and you need sharp elbows just to get close. Leaving the crowds behind, I decide to explore the Arashiyama Bamboo Grove, one of Kyoto's most photographed spots. Tall, swaying bamboo stalks surround me, and for a moment it feels like I've stepped into a green ocean. The light filters through the bamboo, creating a soft green glow that feels almost otherworldly. But just as I'm lost in the tranquility, I overhear a couple arguing about getting the shot, the quintessential modern travel problem. Even in the most peaceful places, it seems like the hustle follows you, and I can't help but laugh at the irony of trying to capture a moment of calm amidst this chaos. Hungry from all the exploring, I grab a quick snack from a nearby food stall, a skewer of dango, sweet rice dumplings. Now here's where things get tricky. I start munching while walking through the bustling streets, feeling like I'm in a scene from a travel vlog. But suddenly, I notice some sideways glances from passers-by. I quickly learn that walking and eating in Japan is a big no-no. It's considered disrespectful. Embarrassed, I stop mid-bite and sheepishly finish my snack at the nearest bench, feeling like I've just broken some sacred unspoken rule. One local even gives me a friendly nod as if to say, "Rookie mistake." Lesson learned. In Kyoto, your feet might keep moving, but your food doesn't. My next stop is the Gion District, Kyoto's famous geisha quarter. Here, traditional tea houses line the streets, and if you're lucky, you might catch a glimpse of a geisha or maiko in their stunning kimonos. But don't get too trigger-happy with your camera. Trying to photograph these elusive performers without permission is a big cultural faux pas and could land you in hot water with the locals. Respect their space, and if you're really keen, book a proper cultural experience. It's much more rewarding than a sneaky snapshot. As I wander further into Gion, I spot a group of tourists eagerly renting kimonos to walk the historic streets. They look beautiful, but it's not just about the photo op, it's about stepping into a piece of living history. However, be aware that some rental shops near tourist hotspots charge steep prices and don't always offer the best service. A little known fact I picked up, Kyoto is home to one of Japan's oldest kimono makers, dating back over 400 years, crafting kimonos for imperial courts and ceremonies long before they became Instagram fashion statements. If you do your research, you can find more authentic and affordable experiences and perhaps even get a piece of history wrapped around your shoulders. The next morning, I set off early to beat the crowds at Kiyomizudera Temple, a stunning complex perched on a hillside with panoramic views of the city. The temple's wooden stage juts out over the hillside, and in spring, it's framed by a sea of cherry blossoms. I make my way to the Ottawa Waterfall, where visitors drink from one of 3 streams, each said to bring good fortune in love, success, or longevity. I'm tempted to drink from all 3, but decide not to push my luck. Besides, there's a long line, and I'm not trying to start my day with dirty looks. The water is refreshing though, and I can't help but feel a bit rejuvenated, even if it's mostly in my head. From there, I head to the Nishiki Market, known as Kyoto's Kitchen, a narrow alleyway packed with stalls selling everything from fresh seafood to matcha sweets. I stop at a stand selling takoyaki, octopus balls sizzling hot off the grill, and can't resist. As I savor the crispy, chewy goodness, I'm reminded that Kyoto's food scene is as much a feast for the senses as its temples. The market's been around for over 400 years, evolving from a simple fish market to a bustling hub of Kyoto's culinary delights. And here's another fun tidbit. Some of the recipes here have been passed down through generations, unchanged for centuries. I find it incredible that in a city so rich in history, even the food tells a story. No trip to Kyoto would be complete without visiting the famous Philosopher's Path, a scenic route lined with cherry trees that follows a peaceful canal. As I walk, I think about the many artists and poets who found inspiration here over the centuries. But my quiet contemplation is interrupted by a small group of deer who've wandered in from nearby Nara looking for handouts. I chuckle, realizing that even the wildlife here is in on the tourism game. It's as if every encounter in Kyoto is lifted right out of a storybook, with a few modern twists to keep you on your toes. On my final day, I decide to visit Niho Castle, a UNESCO World Heritage Site known for its beautiful gardens and nightingale floors, wooden floorboards designed to chirp like birds when walked upon, a security measure against intruders. As I tiptoe down the hallways, the floors squeak under my feet, and I'm transported back to a time of shoguns and samurai. It's a fascinating mix of beauty and practicality, and for a moment, I'm grateful that my footsteps are the only sound in this otherwise quiet, historical treasure. It's the kind of place that makes you want to whisper even when no one's around. But not everything in Kyoto is picture perfect. After a long day of sightseeing, I decide to treat myself to a visit to one of the city's traditional tea houses. I'm excited to try my hand at a tea ceremony, only to find out that reservations are a must, and they're often booked out weeks in advance. Feeling a bit deflated, I opt for a quick matcha at a local cafe instead, but it's a good reminder that Kyoto rewards those who plan ahead. As I wrap up my Kyoto adventure, I'm struck by the city's unique ability to blend the ancient with the modern. From the serene temples to the bustling markets, Kyoto is a place where every corner has a story. Every street is steeped in history, and every experience teaches you something new, even if it's just how to gracefully finish a snack without offending half the city. So, whether you're here for the temples, the tea, or just to get lost in the magic of it all, Kyoto is a city that will surprise, delight, and occasionally humble you. If this journey through Japan's cultural heart has sparked your wanderlust, hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and adventure aloud.